where the glory remains. The cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From Lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Big up, guys, and welcome to Irish Lads. Well, one Irish lad and one English lad talk Spurs. Yeah, Dave isn't here with me this week. Dave is off with a family matter, so he will be back for episode 3. This is episode 2 of Irish Lads Talk Spurs, and of course, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify and on all podcasting networks. Just follow the link below. The link for the Spotify one is below. I will put the links for the Amazon podcast and everything in for the next episode. But yeah, hope you're all well, and I'm looking forward to this one because I've got with me today, joining me from Playful Spurs, it is the one and only Paul. He is the man who's going to keep me in check. He's the man who's going to say, whoa, 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 Dermo, you're going too far to the left. I have to bring you back to the centre ground and leave you there. He's taken over Dave's job of keeping me under control, but I don't think that's going to happen because Paul is like me. He is deluded when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, and he has his views and very good views as well. But Paul, how are you? And welcome to Irish Lads Talk Spurs.
Afternoon, mate. I'm good. You could say I'm an Irish lad because my surname is Connor, so I could pass for an Irish lad.
Okay, there we go. I've got 2 Irish Lads Talk Spurs. I do apologise. Paul, how are you, man? It's been an interesting week at Spurs, hasn't it? To be honest, it's been one of those weird weeks.
Bit of a crazy one, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit like going to Argos, buying a TV for £1,000, and Argos going, well, you can't have it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you remember they used to do I don't know if they still do it now, the Argos card, when that first came out. And I remember going to Argos and bought myself a brand new PS3. I'm going back now a few years, like when PS3 first came out. I'm buying a rake of games for it and thinking, this is brilliant. To the next month when the bill hit the doormat, it went, bollocks. Should I've really bought that? Right, there's no CEX. I can't sell it. But yeah, it has been an interesting week. I'll tell you what, let's see who's in the chat and we'll go through that. We are going to talk a little bit about Morgan Gibbs White. We've got a bit of an update on that at the end of last night's show, but we'll go through it more and talk about it. A little bit on Rafael Leone. That could be one to keep an eye on. And also, Simmons still isn't dead yet. And do Spurs need a striker? And then tonight, Paul's coming back to our normal show. It's the transfer weekly roundup every Friday, where we're going to talk a bit more about Gibbs White. Steve will be joining us as well. Steve will be joining me and Paul tonight. So, Paul, let's see who's in the chat. And of course, we have your old channel partner, your old partner in crime, Rhino. Big up Ryan, big up Dermot, and my man Paul. Represent and play for Spurs in the blue corner and in the Irish corner, Dermot. No, fine today. Me and Paul get on just grand. Paul's like me. Paul is the playful version of DERMOTRON. Would you agree with that? A bit like me, a bit deluded, a bit. Or am I just?
I'm deluded. I'm deluded when we're playing cup games, but when it comes to like day-to-day stuff, then I'm kind of normal. But yeah. When it comes to game day, I'm deluded as the rest of us.
Yeah, big up the Starman floating in the sky. Every time I see him, I want to get my Bowie albums out, my Ashes to Ashes, and the Let's Dance album, which I think is the best album ever, apart from the Rise and Fall and Ziggy Stardust. I think they're the two best Bowie albums around. And also, Paul, I think you're at the same age as me. That 40 years ago, Live Aid happened. I was 8. For the younger viewers who don't know what Live Aid was a big concert, wasn't it, for the people in Ethiopia? And it was done by Bob Geldof and Mitch Gewer. They got round together and put this wonderful concert together, didn't they? It was in Wembley and Philadelphia, if I remember rightly. What's your memories of that day? Because I just remember being 8 years old. I mean, I'm a massive Queen and Bowie fan, so Queen and Bowie on the hit list does me. But what do you remember of that day? It was a good day, wasn't it?
From what I can remember, obviously I was born and bred London, grew up in London, and I was 3 at the time. So I remember sit there watching telly with mum and dad watching it on the TV. When we used to have 4 channels, not like 150 channels. They were sat there watching it, and then, all of a sudden, when certain bands come on, I weren't allowed to talk. It was like, no, shush. This band's on, you can be quiet. As a 3-year-old, why?
Mum and dad a big Queen fan or Bowie fan?
Yeah, mum and dad used to love Queen.
Yeah.
That was always blaring outside round our house. And I was lucky enough to go and see them. Not with Freddie, but with Adam Lambert 3 or 4 years ago.
Was it good?
Oh, brilliant. But what I'd say about Adam Lambert is that he does it in his own style. He doesn't try to copy Freddie, which is good. Because I don't think anybody can copy Freddie, if you know what I mean.
I'm very lucky. I saw Bowie twice, a couple of times. And Bowie, I love Bowie. Bowie is my favorite artist. I just love him. But yeah, 40 years. I don't know where the time's gone. So this is for you guys on the podcast or here who's watching us live on THFC We Die, also on 5th tier podcast as well on X. Put in the comments, what do you remember of Live Aid? What's your best memory of Live Aid, which was 40 years ago on Sunday? It's just wow. I wish they would just repeat it again on BBC. Just do the whole Live Aid thing again. You just remember it. It's 12 o'clock. You're watching, the world's watching, and on comes Status Quo. We're rocking around rocking all over the world. What a start. Big up to you, star man. Ryan said, hope, Paul, that's the same love we'll be shown when I'm on Dermo next. LOL. There you go. I don't know what that's all about, but big up, bro. We've got Hot God 10. Good afternoon, Dermot chat. Big up to you, Hot God 10. We've got the bosses in town. Behave yourself, Dermo. The boss is watching. Good. Big up, boss man. I'm writing songs today while my neighbor is out. Wow. Let us know what you're writing, man. Maybe write something for the channel. Colin is a bit of a artist. He wrote the theme song to the song to our title intro. But why not, if you can, write something for the channel. See what you come up with. Big up to the real hit. I was 16 and at Wembley. It was the best gig I ever been to. Wow. Imagine being there. I would have loved to be in there. Dermo, what is up with Rainbow? Can you explain what the joke is? It's a little bit early, right? Put adult Rainbow into YouTube, Brian, and that should explain everything. I watched that and I never thought of Zippy Bongle and George in the same way again. Bring up Craig saying it. I was a twinkle in the milkman's eye when Live Aid happened, -8 years old. Yeah, they did the DVD. I would recommend anyone that is a music lover get the DVD and Live Aid. Just watch it. It's brilliant. It absolutely is brilliant. Right, Paul, let's crack on. Enough about Live Aid. Enough about Bob Geldof says, give us your effing money. All right, and all that. Let's talk about football. And this news come out yesterday that Gibbs White turned down a new contract to Nottingham Forest, demanded he be released from his contract due to Spurs meeting his release clause, now in talks with the Premier League and PFA to discuss the legality of it. And then it came out today that late last night, the Tottenham Hotspur have absolutely no intentions of walking away from the potential transfer of Morgan Gibbs White. The player only wants to join Spurs too, and so there's no possibility of another club coming in. There's rumors on X that it's been done. Transfer's been completed. Medical is tomorrow. We don't know how true that is. Where are you with Morgan Gibbs White? Where are you with the whole thing? I'd be interested to know. Has Levy met his match with the Forest owner?
No. If you look at this, I was explaining this to Ryan the other day. If you look at the post that Romano put out, right, the first one he put out was Spurs were considering Morgan Gibbs White, right? Then it was direct club to club contacts with Forest, and then all of a sudden the release clause was met, and it was in that order.
Yeah, it was.
So what have we done wrong?
We've done nothing wrong. It's him trying. It's him trying to save face, I think. It reminds me of that Queen song. I want to break free. No, the Hoover. Come on. I'm just thinking you can imagine him dressed up. Yeah, I'm just got the image in my head. Morgan Gibbs White, Levy, and the Forest owner. Yeah, that's just thanks, Paul. Did not want that in my head. But no, it does. So look, I want to put Levy to one side. The Forest owner, he dropped Crystal Palace in it with Europa. And I think that's a travesty what's happened to Crystal Palace, by the way. If someone doesn't have a bit of common sense to come out with the sort
wrong for football in general.
It is. Do you think he's trying to do his best for Forest. He's only sold one of his best players to Newcastle. He doesn't want to lose another one. But do you think he's more angry with his own team, with his own club, than he is with anyone else?
No, I personally, I think with him, what's happened is that I think they just put it through because everyone thought Gibbs White was leaving this summer anyway. So when all the rumours were out with Man City, obviously they didn't put a bid in, so it didn't trigger the clause. They were exploring options, as like Spurs do, exploring, looking, interested. All these words come out with Man City with Morgan Gibbs White, but they never put a bid in, which is why the release clause was never activated. And I don't know. For me, I just think it's him just trying to cause a fuss on absolutely everything. When he saw the backlash of fans from Morgan Gibbs White, I think that's when he stepped in and went, maybe we should have thought this through a bit more. But then he's refused a contract for over a year.
I know. I think what it is, they've realised they cocked up with the original contract and they've said, oh, fuck, maybe 60 million's a bit low here. We need to go back and revisit this. And they've been caught out. Tottenham,
well, of course they have. But then it goes back to, but I was also saying this to Ryan the other day as well. It's to me, there's like 3 tiers in the Premier League. You've got your top clubs like your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your Chelseas, all up there. If they go in for a player and we're up with them, they go into those clubs. It happened to Newcastle recently.
It did.
The minute Liverpool come in, the player only wanted Liverpool, didn't want Newcastle, right? So there's a food chain in the system. So to me, it's like we're the next tier down to that, right? So we're not in like the mid to bottom half. We're in the top half of the table. Sometimes but we're always in Europe. So we're in that area with Villa, Newcastle, those sort of teams. And why wouldn't Morgan Gibbs White want to come to Spurs? So what? Forest finished 7th last season. You know, that's the first time in 20 odd years they finished above us.
I know.
You know, but
and also,
it's.
What did you think about, also, just to give you a bit of news, 41 minutes ago, I know Fabrizio Romero did break it, that Memembo is set for Manchester United medical. So the Brentford star is heading to Old Trafford, and eventually that deal has got over the line. And also, Arsenal are still finalising details of the 63.5 million Gyökeres deal as well. Look, we know Morgan Gibbs White's come to Tottenham, and that we know that's for certain. Where should Tottenham turn next? Do we need a striker or a number 6? I think we need both. But there is, I've been told we could actually come in with another centre-back, which, if you look at the way Frank sets up, Paul, do you think we do need about 7 or 8 centre-backs? Because if he is going to play 3 at the back, we're going to need cover for them plus 2 more as cover for them. Do you think we need a bigger squad? Do you think that was the problem last season, that we didn't, our squad depth wasn't big enough? And we're trying to be...
We all knew our squad depth wasn't big enough last season.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And to think you can do like defenders, if everyone, we've got 8 defenders at the club for next season.
Yeah.
Half of them won't need to be registered because they're under 21 anyway. But then, to me, look what happened last season. Romero got injured. Van der Ven got injured. Davis got injured. Dragerson got injured. So you think 4 would be enough.
Yeah.
But clearly it's not. So, why wouldn't we? You know, if we want to progress on all fronts, like the club has come out and said, you know, we don't just want to be prioritising one area over another. It should just be we need to compete on all 4 fronts. You know, every competition we're in, we need to have enough squad depth to cover the injuries that we will get this season, because we will get them. And also, you know, to progress in the cup competitions, because that's always been Spurs' problem for me. We've always had a good 11. We've always had a good 11. But the minute you take a couple of them players out due to injuries, the drop-off has been massive. Absolutely horrendous to who comes in.
It is. And look, I think you're right. I said it last season. I said it last night in the show with Tequila. I think this transfer window is turning out to be better than the one we had last summer. And I stand by that. I think it's a far better window. When have you ever known Levy to say, right, we're going to pay 60 million for one player, but we're going to match a release clause for another player within 24 hours? To be fair, in 24 years, there's no history of ever that happening. So where are you leaving that to? I think there's more to it than meets the eye. I think I've been saying now for last 6 months that investment is coming, that there is going to be some sort of a takeover at Tottenham, maybe the football side, and then do what a Man United style. We got the naming rights deal could be announced anytime now. It could be a Saudi Arabian. The rumored 2 parties are Google or Amazon from Saudi Arabia, an oil company. Where are you looking like there is something happening behind the scenes? Because it's very unlike Levy to do this, isn't it? It's very unlike Tottenham to put 2 bids in and say, right, we're going to match your release clause. We've never done that. And
no, but I also think you need to look at what Levy's actually done this summer. You know, and this started back in February or March when Charrington came over. You know, this isn't just something, we all knew something was happening when Charrington come back. Yeah. And then he appointed Vinay as a new CEO. And during that interview, he said, Vinay will be looking after the footballing matters. I'm sure I heard that in that interview.
Yeah, I did.
And then, you know, and I think it's Vinay's come in and he's realised, you know, we've got a squad full of potential, but who's that potential learning from? How are they getting their experience? You know, in training, they're playing against kids the same age as them. You know, there's nobody there to, you know, as in men. There's no men there, effectively, was there? But it's, for me, I just think Levy has taken a step back, and I think Vinay's been told how much he's got in the pot to play with. Yeah. You know, and he's using that to improve our first team. instead of it being youth academy or, 18-year-old prospects coming in, he's looking more at improving the first team now, because to me, that's how you improve your squad depth.
Yeah, you do. And I
Right?
think,
And
look,
you bring in better players than what you've got.
yeah, and if you think about it, 25 now is quite old, isn't it? Compared to how young the players start these days. 25, I say 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago was, oh, he's young to be playing, But I think 25 now, they're experienced players because they start at 17 and 18.
Mhm.
So the likes of Kudus and Gibbs White coming in, they are experienced players. But if you look at the squad that Tottenham have and that we've got a very exciting squad. We have a very talented squad. And we just needed the right manager with the right tactics, with the right nous on the touchline to get the best out of that squad. I think Thomas Frank is that manager. Now, I'd be grateful for Ange Postecoglou for what he done. He won us the Europa League. However we won it, he won us a trophy. He got that monkey off our back. But I think it's now time to say, thank you, Ange, but come on, Thomas Frank, let's move on. He said when he joined the club, I want to stand on the shoulders of what Ange done. So I'd be very interested to see that this window is very different to any other window we've had at Tottenham, because we didn't back Ange last season, summer or January. And I don't know what that was put down to. We had then coming to the end of the season, didn't we, that Tottenham would have to buy to sell. So where's all that gone? We haven't sold anyone. So, do you think there is something in the background that's going to suddenly shock every Spurs fan to their core?
I think there's something going to.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I think something's going to come out that is going to shock everybody across the thing. And basically, if that investment come out right before the transfer window, I reckon they've already got the investment, but it's under an NDA until the transfer window shuts.
Yeah,
personally, I think we will hear it the day after transfer deadline day has gone, because otherwise we go in for a player, the price jumps 20, 25 million.
Yeah, I do.
So
also, I was told, I'm just very sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you, Paul, but I was told, Paul, that the naming rights is one thing, but look, naming rights covers a lot of things, doesn't it? And also, I was told it's what, at the end of the day, it's going to be what Tottenham fans want. That's what I was told. So
it's hard to say, but with the naming rights, I think we've got Euro 2028, haven't we, coming up?
We have.
We're a host stadium for that.
Yeah.
And if you look back over all the England games across where they actually play, none of them are named stadiums.
Yeah.
None of them are named stadium. It's in the contract. You can't be a named stadium like the Etihad or whichever, because they're not allowed to advertise for England, if that makes sense. It's kind of, we can't have naming rights on, so we can't be called another stadium until they've hosted those games, unless they're given up hosting them. It's why the Emirates is never used.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Colin's saying here, no, that's not happening, with a cheeky tongue out and funny looking eyes. I read you exactly what was sent to me. Naming rights nearly done. It's completed. It's most likely a Saudi team that will be announced. But just a very good stepping stone, and Tottenham is what Tottenham fans want. So does that mean the end of Levy and ENIC on the footballing side? That ENIC have sold up and Levy's kept on as an advisory, but you just do what you're good at, Daniel, which is doing the business side, and we'll get new people in on the football side. Is that what's needed at Tottenham? I think
that's already happened, hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you think so? Do you really think so?
Well, if you go by what we've seen, the interview, Vinay's come in as a CEO, so he's the top of the football chain effectively. So obviously Levy trusts him to that degree, or maybe Levy said it was too much for him to be involved all the way across the board. As much as everybody hates Levy, I'm not a Levy inner, I'm not a Levy outer, but for me, it's I remember when he bought our club and the situation we were in at the time,
Oh,
you know,
God.
and it's, you know, going back to those days, and then for him to come in, stabilise us financially, the stadium's great and everything else, he's just let us down on the football pitch.
Yeah.
But then you ask other people, has he? Because we reached a Champions League final. That wasn't his fault we didn't win.
No.
He's reached, do you see what I mean? He's reached certain
Yeah.
finals and milestones.
You can't
And-
blame him for a manager's decision. You can't
Yeah.
blame him for starting
Exactly.
Harry Kane over Mora. You can't blame
Yeah.
him for starting Sonny at left wing back against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final. You can't blame him for us not turning up against Man City in the pandemic. The one where I know we sacked Mourinho 6 days before. Maybe you can blame him for that because we sacked our manager 6 days before. I will never know.
He is to blame to that.
Yeah, but we'll never know why he sacked Mourinho 6 days before. That will always be a mystery. But I agree with you. You can blame him for a lot of things, but you can't blame him for on the pitch matters. You can't blame him for us losing to Manchester United on penalties in the 2009 League Cup final.
No, but this is what I mean, and it's kind of, you know, and Levy's seen that and gone, well, yeah, you say you need better players, but these players actually got there. But obviously he doesn't. What Levy never got is he needed more than 11 players.
Yeah,
we needed a squad. Levy has never provided any manager with an actual squad that can do consistently in the league, consistently in the cups, which is why Spurs have always been a cup team. We've never been one for the league, to be fair. We've not won it since 1961. So the thing for me,
why has it changed now though? What's different? And it's, as you said, there's a different probably head at the chain. Has he come in, as Venny come in and said, hang on a minute, this is a sleeping giant here. This is not me. And he said to Levy, right, I'm sorry, I'm doing it my way. It's my way or I don't come at all. And
I think that's exactly what's happened.
Do you think it's something to do with possibly the new owners as well? They wanted their own man in there. And maybe Charrington coming in as well. He's sort of smoothing the waters with the takeover, maybe. Do you think that everything's pointing to that, isn't it? In a way.
It is. It isn't. It isn't. You know, and for me, I just personally think now, obviously, Levy, we had the stadium for a while. We were building up, you know, getting financially stable, PSR rules, income, everything. He's put us in a really good position. I just think now, 4 to 5 years after that stadium has been opened, bearing in mind one of those years was COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
I personally think now we're starting to see the benefits of that stadium.
Yeah.
In the sense of the money's now coming in more than what it ever was before. So I think this is why we can spend. It's not like Levy doesn't spend either. He spends 130, 140 net spend every season so far. You know, we just buy the wrong players. And we have all honesty.
To be fair, though, when we had Paratici, we bought good players then. Because we bought Romero, we bought Van der Ven, we bought Vicario, we bought Porro. Do you know, I think we bought good players then. Jed Spence is one example. Bought as a club signing. Conte didn't use him. Look at Jed Spence now. He thrived last season. And he's now back to doing what he does best. And he's a good player, Jed Spence.
You know, I've always said this, Spurs don't buy rubbish players. No. We really don't. You know, same with managers. We don't hire bad managers. The problem we have is that we've always only had 11 first-team players. We've never, ever had a squad. And that's why we've always been so inconsistent in the league. That's what cost Poch the league, because we didn't have a squad to cover the injuries. You know, so it's kind of, this has been an ongoing problem. So when people say like, oh, we're going to get another midfielder or another defender, where are they going to play? What are they going to do? We need squad depth. Man City have got 30-odd players. Chelsea got 30-odd players. So have Arsenal. And they do that to be able to compete on all four fronts. You know, it's not like every player that's going to play in, example, the Premier League, not all of them will get registered for Champions League. You might say, well, actually, I've got someone here, or that player's not quite fit, so I'm going to put this player in. Now, it's the whole idea of having a squad. We don't have that. To us, our Premier League squad, our European squad is exactly the same 9 times out of 10, and there's no difference in it. And then the other players get to play itty bitty parts in the cups. And when we've been going out in the first and second rounds,
yeah.
No,
I get you. It does. Just give you a bit more on that Manchester United deal. The breaking news about an hour or so ago. Sky, I think Fab broke it, and then Sky broke it as well. It's a 71 million deal with Brentford to sign Brian Mamembo. The initial fee of 65 million set to be paid over 4 installments plus 6 million in add-ons. Look, I know Tottenham are interested in him. Do you think that's a miss for us? Or do you think, look, he always wanted Manchester United, so that was always dead in the water? Do you think we've missed? And also with this one as well, Starman saying Tottenham Hotspur have made contact with Bournemouth over a deal to sign defender Lilia Zimbabwe, according to TalkSport journalist Alex Cooks. I wonder what that's why Colin was saying, no, that's not happening. So I don't know. Where are you with Memembo? Do you think that was an opportunity missed, or do you think he was Man United bound anyway, so it doesn't matter?
It was Man United bound. Everybody knew that. Contract, that was done a month ago. Just because Man United didn't want to pay any more money.
Yeah, well,
that's all it was.
They upped the bid to 70. Went in third times for 71 million, so they've had to go in 3 times for Brentford to accept it. Look, the Simmons deal isn't dead. Apparently, if the price is right, then we've got Leroy. Yeah, that's fine, man. That's no problem. Where is it? The other one. I had it here, and I don't think I brought it across. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting some new. Oh yeah, Rafael Leone as well. If the price comes down, we're after some decent players, aren't we, Paul? This transfer window, and with the squad we have, I think I said it earlier in the podcast in one of my shows, and I stand by it. I think Tottenham could be a dark horse for the league. You know.
Oh, come on, Dermo. Let's not get silly now.
No. Everyone is saying that I'm talking out of my backside, but I think, look, funnier things have happened. We're definitely in the race for top 4 or top 5. Definitely,
it has. But what I will say is Liverpool have strengthened considerably, and they've just won the league.
Yeah,
you know, the players they're buying are just another level to what we're buying.
Yeah.
So
look, I
same as Arsenal. Arsenal are buying players that are going to fit into their system and work really well. You know, as much as I don't like them, they're buying players they need. You know, they're replacing players that are coming in.
Yeah.
No, then you've got the likes of Man City have just refreshed their squad as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way we're getting anywhere near them because we're not consistent enough. And if you think 1 or 2 players coming in our first team is going to push us up that league, it might push us to a European place, but it won't push us into literally fighting for the title. I don't see it.
I said dark horse. I didn't think we will, but I put it down to I put it down to maybe different times and different squads and different players and different generation. But I remember the year we won the UEFA Cup, we were woeful in the league that year. The following year, we pushed Everton. For the younger viewers, Everton were a major club in the 80s, winning quite consistently big European, big trophies, leagues, FA Cups. Them and Liverpool were really one of the 2 teams back in the early 80s. And we pushed Everton all the year that year. We didn't have the great squad in the world, but we pushed the team that was the best team around then all the way, I think, to about 6 or 7 games left, and then we sort of petered off. Look, I agree with you. Liverpool are probably going to run away with the league again this season. But I don't think they'll run away with it. Dream. Is there no harm? Isn't it being a football fan is the dream? Your dream may be the most stupidest dream ever, the most silliest dream ever. But why can't we not dream? Why can't we not go above our ambitions? What's wrong with being a fan and saying, I think we're going to be a dark horse for the league? Yeah, we may not win the bloody thing, I think we'll finish top 5, and I think we'll win a cup this season. I think we're good contention for the FA Cup and the League Cup. I think we'll get probably to round of 16 quarterfinals in the Champions League. I think if we get there, that'd be a really great season for us. But why can't we not dream? Why can we not be ambitious as a fan base? Why do we always have to stick to this narrative of, oh no, we can't do that? Don't be silly, we can't do that. What's wrong with dreaming? What's wrong of having a fan, being a fan and being ambitious and saying, right, I know this is where we are. I know we're not going to win the league, but why can't we not dream to say we might be in the chance? I think we're finished top 5. I think we're in the race, top 6. We're in the race for that. But why can't fans be ambitious? Why does it always have to be you have to stick to that narrative? And if you do have that dream, you get called deluded and you got called, you're talking out the backside of your arse. I'm sure that there's Crystal Palace every year say, right, this is the year we're going to win a cup. This is the year we're going to win a trophy. Every fan at the start of every season has the hope their team's going to win the league. So
Of course.
why can't we not? Why can I not have the as me as a fan to have the ambition to say, do you know what? I think we can be a dark horse. I mean, I don't like Rory Jennings. And he more or less said the same thing. He thought Tottenham can be a very dark horse this year. So,
well, yeah, we could be. But you know, the thing for me, it's yes, I want us to win. I want us to win the quad every year, Dermo.
yeah,
You know, I want us to win the quad every year. But I know realistically,
yeah,
what we can do next season. And to be honest, all I want to see is consistency. Hit a European place of some description. I don't care if it's a Champions League. Hopefully, we probably hit Europa again, to be honest. But then, you know, then what's to stop us going back in Europa and then smashing that again? Do you know what I mean? This is what I mean. It's if you want the success to come and build on that success, you know, if you look at our trajectory that we're going on, right? We went with Ange, right? Or the previous managers, the last 4 seasons, right?
Yeah.
We finished 8th. Then we finished, I think it was 4th. No, 4th, 8th, 5th, 17th.
17th, yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. It's inconsistent.
That's not stable. It's inconsistent. No. What I want to see next season from Spurs, yes, I'd love the thought of us going on to win the league or win a cup or, you know, get to the final, win the Champions League. You know, I'd love it as a fan. But in the same sense, all I want to see this season, I want to see consistent, steady performances where we're not getting torn open every week. You know, I can sit there and watch the highlights and see, you know, we're actually attacking, you know, and shooting on goal. We're not like sitting there playing horseshoe football for 85 minutes. It's crazy. But
it is.
I just want to see consistency. And I said to Ryan, I said, if we hit the playoff stages of the Champions League, that would be great. Hopefully the last 16. But I can't see us going any further than that because you hit the big boys. But then, you know, I just think, but then on the same thing, we can beat anyone on our day. We really can.
We can.
And
I'll go through. Sorry. Yeah, go on, Paul. Sorry, cool.
And if you remember the last Champions League run we had, the quarterfinals where we played Man City, we went through on away goals. Ajax went through on away goals.
No. Oh, we did, yeah.
Yeah. We went through on away goals on both. So we were lucky because that's no longer there anymore.
No, it isn't. Look, I always said it, Paul. We got to the Champions League final. I always said it. That was more luck than judgment. That was more luck.
Oh, yeah.
We were lucky to get there. We didn't deserve actually to get to that final, if I'm being bluntly honest. I think Ajax deserved that because Ajax were a far better team than us in that semi-final. Look, we got to it. It's a day we'll never forget. We got to the Europa League final. We won a trophy, which is our first European success in 41 years. I want to go through some of the chat here, guys. If you are enjoying this podcast, do hit the follow button. If you are on YouTube, do hit the subscribe button. And us here on THFC Till We Die on 5th Tier Podcast as well. And follow us on X. Big up to Column. It says Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, top 5. Who you replacing? Chelsea, because I just cannot stand them. I think they're the biggest cheats this side of football, and I wish they would get relegated to the Conference League. I would quite happy to see Chelsea down there. Don't like them, never have, never will. So that's who we're replacing. No, it's Man
I'd say
United.
Newcastle on that.
Would you really say Newcastle? Why?
Yeah, they weren't in Europe. Well, they weren't in Europe last season, and they did the same the previous season. They did the same the last time in the Champions League. So they're in the same position as us. Can they balance 2 games a week or 3 games a week in some cases? I think it'll be Newcastle that drops out of that top 5. In all honesty,
that's a very good point. Actually, no, if you look, I just don't like Chelsea anyway. I don't think any Tottenham fan likes Chelsea. To be fair,
who?
Yeah, them lot in West London. Them.
Oh,
the one that can't even afford to get a shirt sponsor. They went to the Mickey Mouse Cup in America and think they claim themselves as world champions now. World champions of Tiddlywinks.
But Dermo, that got them like nearly £200 million in prize money. Let's not forget that. That's their PSR sorted.
Yeah, can Tottenham qualify for that in 4 years' time?
We have to win the Champions League.
Bloody disgrace. Tottenham should bid in that. Greg Sennett says the smallest club in Fulham, the Fulham Blues. Yeah, big up to Emmanuel Randomize. He says the Gooners are also unpredictable and will eventually fall off. Yeah, of course they do. They're the big Bobby. If you're watching, I apologize, but the biggest bottlers going. But I apologize, Bobby. I do respect you. You're the only Arsenal fan I do respect. You and Benny, you know that. Big up the Starman says we can only hope Man City and Chelsea have slow starts. So that was because they were in the Club World Championship. Very good point. I got a question on Man City, but I just want to get through some of this chat because it's really been brilliant. Newcastle is not repeatable top 5 side. Chelsea unpredictable this year. Starman says we will sell Dom next season. He's not good enough if we want to get to top 4. That's a question I'm going to ask you, Paul, probably end off this podcast. We've got Greg saying, if Roy Bloody Jennings says we're a dark horse, we're getting relegated. Yeah, I would love to debate Roy Jennings. He's sort of a person I would just love to debate, slap down and say, right, you're talking shite, man. You just go away and watch your little blue team play. Just don't talk. Sit in the corner. Because we don't have an amazing striker. That's it. Colin says because you're setting yourself up for heartache, stress, and failure. That's why I'm happy with top 10 this season. Nah, Colin, I'm sorry. You know me. I aim high. Tottenham's motto, Bill Nick said, you must aim high. Even when you fail, aim high. Echoes I find the quote, but you know the quote I mean, Paul. There's a Bill Nick quote. Yeah. We at Tottenham aim high. I forget what the quote is. Maybe you can find it or bring it up for us. Big up to absolute can win a cup. Yay! Palace
back in 2 demo.
Okay, no problem, Paul. Palace did it, but their squad wasn't better than ours. Yeah, the Eze deal's gone very quiet. I still think he might end up at Spurs, you know. I just don't know. Got a sneaky feeling he might end up. He might not, but he might do, he might not. Who knows? I think as a fan base, we've been hurt too many times before with false dawns. I think this is a new dawn of great success for Spurs. I really do. Got a feeling in my stomach. The lesser teams are getting weaker. Yeah, they are. Column, it's 2025, not 1980s, so Dermo. Look, football is football, Column. You know that. Manchester United were absolutely crap in the 80s. What you won? A cup in 84. What did you win? 2 FA Cups in the 80s? Or 1 FA Cup? I'm trying to think now. 84. You beat Brighton in 83. Oh, you won 2, 83 and 85. You know, we won more than you in the 80s. We were really successful. You turned that around, though, to be fair to you. And then Starman says the other teams are getting really strong now. Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle, maybe. Yeah, absolutely spot on there. The ex-Coventry and Brighton guy. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Sorry. Column says Newcastle are signing who? Ekititi? Sorry about that. I can't pronounce his name. But anyway, because Isaac could be going to Liverpool. If Liverpool get him, then that's I think Liverpool won the league. I thought he was going to Liverpool. My days, I swear, agenda sometimes. Arsenal have a real good scorer this season, Gyökeres, so you can't write them off. Do you know what? Look, from a Tottenham point of view, you never want your rivals to do well. I'm being honest, you don't. But Arsenal scare me this year. If I'm being bluntly honest, they do scare me. Arsenal have always been 1 or 2 plays away from really competing at the deep end of a league season. And if they get this striker in, they're gonna be a match for Liverpool this year. I do. Look, if we're all being serious and put our bias aside, Paul, if Arsenal get Gyökeres in, I was just saying, I think they can push Liverpool all the way this season. I think Arsenal are only 2 plays away from actually competing, going, not bottling it again for the 4th year running. I think they might actually win something, and that scares me.
I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? It's as much as I don't like them down the road, I just want to see them fall flat on their, But for me, it's if they get Gyökeres, they've needed a striker for years, though. So their fans have been screaming for one for years and years and years, and it's taken them this long, to get a preferred striker over the line. So I don't know. It's it'll be interesting to see how he fits in.
Yeah, it will. It will. Got Colin, yes, the gent who is a different beast now. He is. Big up Starman. Newcastle won't sell him. Isaac to Liverpool. Just very quickly, Paul. Where do you think that's heading?
Nowhere.
I reckon. Do you think he'll stay at Newcastle?
Yeah. Personally, I don't think Newcastle have to sell. He's in. He's still got 3 or 4 years. He's only just signed a new contract, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So for me, he's going nowhere. Liverpool, Newcastle don't need to sell him. So unless Isaac himself says, I want to go to Liverpool, then which is why I think Liverpool swiftly moved on to Ntike.
Emmanuel says, I don't know if Arsenal missing the striker. The Lego man tries to play like Pep, and the striker won't be hard to incorporate. Gyökeres is in Haaland, and the striker up to might break their pay structure. Look, any team wants to strengthen. We always said that Arsenal were missing the striker. If you're a football fan, you put your allegiance to one side. If you look at the Arsenal side, I think they've always just been missing the striker, haven't they? Just to take them over the edge. Are top 6 getting stronger, and the rest of the league? Are the rest of the league getting weaker for the amount of money that's been spent?
Not really. I think for when you look at the likes of last season, it wasn't the highest score in Premier League in a long time. It was very much, everyone. I think there was like 20 or 30 points difference from where we were to where Chelsea were, for example. I'm not sure, which is 10 games. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't.
I do.
It was more like a championship season last season. If anyone put a run together of 4 or 5 games, they jumped up 8 or 9 places. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was just. I can't see Man United and us being down there next season.
No.
So which will push the likes of Forest, Brighton, Brentford. That'll all push them down 2 places.
Yeah. On the Man City thing, are you surprised the Premier League haven't sorted that out by yet? Before what are we 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks before the start of the season?
Yeah, I think it's one of these ones that's just going to go on and on and on, because there'll be, I don't know if you've ever been in a courtroom, but Mum used to work in one, and honestly, sometimes you think something is cut and dry, straightforward. Someone's got a point of order, or there's this they need to check, or this needs to be found out, or that's what it could be. That it's like literally it could be so many back and forths, that it just drags on. And when they do that on one charge, can you imagine if they've done that on all 115?
Yeah, I do it.
It's not something that gets done in, sometimes he's like, people who go to trial sometimes can take 3 years to get to trial.
Yeah. Because
of gathering evidence and stuff like that. So it's not anything different, if you know what I mean. For me, it's kind of.
I get your point. I just feel that it makes a little bit of a mockery of the Premier League, because if you got a team that or apparently they have broken the rules. Chelsea, look, are doing it as well. They're selling stuff to themselves to get themselves out of FFP and FPR. They've done a deal with UEFA. Aston Villa are the same. So what's the point of having these rules if these teams are going to break them?
That's the point, though. The point is that we might see that they've broken them in like layman's terms.
Yeah.
But in the background, it might be, like Chelsea, that when they spent all that money recently, they were putting on players on 8 or 9 year contracts.
Yeah.
Just
pushing it down the road.
Yeah. So basically, they were where they bought a player for 60 million, you spread that over 8 years. That's 8 million a year. They're like, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it can spread the payments out for how long the contract is. And a lot of this goes to the selling clubs as well. It's like, I don't know if you've seen a lot more this window. Selling clubs they're not waiting. They don't want to wait 4 or 5 years for their money anymore.
No. They want it up front or
but look at Man United. Look at Man United they've just signed. That's 4 installments. And the Eze deal, they want that in 3 installments. It's the clubs, the selling clubs now are putting more. They want it quicker. They're not going to wait until a player's contract's finished. Now they want it to be. They don't care if a player's signing a 6-year contract. You're paying us within 3 years. So it's kind of.
I get you. It's the changing of the tides a little bit, isn't it? It's the financial tides that are changing. That clubs are becoming more. Because is it because FFP is becoming more strict and PSR is becoming more strict that
I don't think it is that. I think it's more to do with the likes of Forest, Villa, Newcastle.
Yeah.
They've got these big multi-million-pound owners, but they can't spend how they want to because of the fact that if they did, they'd break PSR. So what they're hoping to do, if they get 3 or 4 big money signings in and they go, right, okay, we want it in 3 installments. So, okay, you can have him for 70 million, but you got to pay it in 3 installments. That's a big chunk into them every season.
Yeah. And it looks better on the books as well, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
But
effectively, that gives them more money to spend.
It does. I'm a massive fan of Formula One. And everyone knows that. And they have a cost cap in Formula One. I think it's 140 million. A team cannot spend more than that. And that's really has leveled off the field quite a lot.
Of course it has.
Because before it came in, you got the top 2-3 teams spending millions and billions of pounds. And you got the smaller teams that can't even scrape 2 cents together. This cost cap has come in. So is that why do you think the league's a bit more unpredictable now? Well, we all think Liverpool going to win the league again this season, but if you're going down from 5th downwards, is it a bit more unpredictable of where teams are going to finish because of this? And also the salary cap as well is coming in, I think as well. There's one in NFL. Do you think that's going to balance it out more? That it makes it a bit more competitive than what it is at the moment?
To be honest, what I think they should do is forget about the PSR side of it in the sense of how it runs now. They still need it because clubs were going bankrupt, couldn't pay their staff, couldn't do. It's why it was brought in the first place.
Yeah.
And to try and even it off. And the bigger clubs like Man City and Liverpool and stuff like that, and even us, when they turned around and said, right, well, okay, let's put a transfer cap on. You can only net spend, I don't know, let's use a random amount, 250 million.
Yeah.
A net spend. But you've got to be able to prove that you can financially do that, if that makes sense. And he's not going to put anybody in trouble. So it shouldn't be the sense of thing, right? But if you spend over that, that's when you get done. Because then other clubs coming up like Leeds and stuff and all that, they could go and spend 250 million, improve their squad to try and stay up. That would make it more competitive. But then the likes of City, Newcastle, Arsenal, us, Man United, they'll go, well, no, we don't want a spending cap because our PSR means we can spend more than that. We can spend 300 million under PSR. The PSR benefits the rich clubs, not the poor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't benefit the likes of the clubs coming up from the Championship or anything like that. It restricts them because they might earn what, a tenth of what Spurs earns in a month, in a year. So how does that correspond to the transfers they can do? That's where I think it's unfair. It needs to be looked at. If they want to make it competitive, just put a straight spending cap across the top, and then no one's worried about who's selling who to who. It's more as in, right, you can spend this, but you got to show you've got that money in the bank to do it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Look, I think you're right. It needs changing. Of course it does. We've got Thomas Frank holding his first sort of press conference today as well before the game tomorrow. Just very quickly on that, Paul, before we finish off, what are you expecting from tomorrow's game? What do you want to see tomorrow? What's the one thing you want to come away from that game away to Reading? And you say, do you know what? This is something we could build on. What do you want to see tomorrow?
I want to see the style of play in, how we work, how we adapt, how we attack. I don't want to see, the horseshoe football anymore.
Yeah.
I want to see those, those cross-field balls that just open everybody up. Don't care what team you are, that ball catches everybody out. I want to see them go across. I want to see Kudos flying down the wings. I just want to see a bit of fight from these players.
Yeah.
And we saw it against United in that final in the last 10 minutes. We were getting peppered, and they were all just as a group. But, I want to see that heart and passion for 90 minutes. I don't want to see them running around like headless chickens either, from one area to the next, to here to there, and not actually getting anything done. I just want to see a nice structure built up, and you can see the direction we're going to be going in this season, instead of it being just like, oh, he's going to play 3 at the back, or he's going to play 2 at the back, or he's going to play 5 at the back. It's, for me, I think we'll see a mixture of styles all season, depending on who we come up against, to be honest.
No, I think it will. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I really am.
We're going to be one of the most unpredictable teams in the Premier League to be able to put a lineup out.
Yeah, I think that's why I say we're dark horses, because nobody's going to know what we're going to be like, how we're going to be this year. We're sort of an unknown, which I think is a very good way to come into a season. We're not predictable like we were under Ange Postecoglou. We're going to be different this year, and we know Thomas Frank does switch it up during games, so we can start a game with one system and then switch it up to another system during the game. So I think this is where the unpredictability is going to come in.
Well, yeah, but isn't that what you should be doing as a manager or as a team?
Well, yeah,
if something isn't working, you change it. Surely, that to me, that's like, when I'm at work, if I'm doing something and it's not quite working, my manager will say, right, we'll try it this way. So I try it that way, and then, oh, that works better.
Yeah.
So we play that way. You see, and that's what I want to see.
I think that was Ange's biggest downfall, wasn't it? That he never changed. He stuck it to his way, and to his own detriment and to his own stubbornness. I think that was finally, what killed him in the way. I think.
Well, yeah, because everybody knew every single week in the Premier League, no matter who we were playing, what our lineup would be and how they were going to play.
Yeah. So
I'm team just set up to stop it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. It's the new era, isn't it? It's a new era in Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
Paul, I want to thank you for coming on the podcast. I've really enjoyed having you on, man. Really enjoyed the conversation. The hour flew. Just want to end up with this from the Dermo F1. It says, have you seen the rumors? Christian Horner and Bernie Ecclestone could be jointly looking to buy an F1 team. I have heard the rumors, and that would be a little bit surprising, but it'd be good to see him. And then we've got Gabriel G, who's going to take us to the next win. I think Thomas Frank could win us a trophy next season. I do. I think you look at the League Cup. That's easy to get to. What's that?
Yeah, hang on, Dermo. I'm gonna start pulling you back in a minute. But yeah,
no, I just do. I just think we are. I'm sorry. I just think we are. I think Thomas Frank, we could end up winning the cup next. Well, we've got the Super Cup on the 13th of August. PSG have not been all that, and they've just played in the Club World Cup as well. Do you know, they got players out. Do you know what? You never know. You never know. We could be
Yeah,
Euro.
but it's for me, it's if we win the Super Cup, fantastic. But that's not a cup that I associate with Frank winning a trophy. Yes, he'll win it, but it's not what I would class as breaking the trophy duck. You know, it's a bit like if we won a Charity Shield. You know, it's that spectacle game, isn't it, between the two UEFA competitions? And
It's a trophy.
yeah, but we could say that about the Audi Cup. Then we haven't been trophyless for 17 years, have we?
Can I just say
So,
the European Super Cup is a bit more than an Audi Cup. It is a European trophy. It is.
yeah, but it's similar to the Charity Shield in the sense of how people see it. In the sense of it's a spectacle game, isn't it?
Yeah, I see it as a stepping stone from start the season, how you mean to go on. You win that, it puts a big spring in your step to your first game of the season. Like winning the Charity Shield, if you win that, that gives you the confidence. It may not be a major trophy, but it gives you the confidence of going on and saying, right, we've won this, we can go and do more. Steve Perriman always said it. You win your first trophy, you're halfway there. Winning your second one. Just check. Okay. Yeah, Paul, where can people find you?
So we're at Playful Spurs. Just pop over and see. We will be getting more content up as the transfer window hots up and the games start playing. Just a bit too quiet at the minute to put up videos that everybody else is doing. So yeah, more content coming in the very near future.
Yeah, we will get your link in. I'm sure Tequila, I will ask Tequila later to put the link into the description. Guys, do go over to play for Spurs as well. Thank you for coming. Listen, guys, we're back tonight at 8 with a weekly transfer roundup. Paul is back with us at 8 o'clock tonight, very kindly giving us a little bit of a help today. And Steve is back as my co-host, so Steve is there. But thank you so much, Paul. Really enjoyed it. Episode 2, episode 3 should be next week or the week after, guys, once Dave is back. But it will be me and Dave Harris from the Irish Hotspur. So thank you all for watching. Whatever you do, hit the like, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channels, X as well. Also hit the follow button wherever you follow your podcast. Thank you so much for watching. So come on, you Spurs. In Thomas Frank we trust. We never stop. And I will put that into there and see you later. Bye-bye.